Hey,
What's up?
how are you? Nerds. Should I stop calling them? No, you're all nerds. Nerds, parenthesis, affectionate. Oh, today we've got a very special super surprise for you. We are playing through the brand new Chase Fox game called Floralgraphic Memory, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Now, as a quick disclaimer at the top of this, I did, along with their past few games, I've had a hand in editing some of the writing on this, as well as contributing a small amount of writing. And because we did talk about this episode while we were negotiating that work, this is technically our channel's second piece of sponsored content. Oh, I never get tired of hearing that. Anyway, it's not to say we won't enjoy ourselves, but, feels fair to mention that at the top. Anyway, I'm going to click anywhere to start. This is a backward and forward. We're going to move forward.
Alrighty.
In time. Hello, my name is Gerja Rat. I'm just a Katoi who has been observing these events over and over, and I will be the narrator of this story for you.
Over and over. Is this a time loop game?
Is it a time loop game?
It says over and over.
It does! Here's another cool thing that's interesting about that I like. Right-click to see the making process of every single art in the game. Everything. You can see the original drafts, the colors.
That's really cool.
For every single thing in this game. And this is especially cool.
The game is its own making of. That's
I know.
Cool.
And escape to bring up the timeline, which we don't need because we're going to keep going through Floralgraphic Memory. Look at that. Did you catch that?
I did.
When you hear this sound, that sound, that means there's stuff to click on. So we're going to look around and click on some stuff. Would you like to find a thing for us to click on? There's tons of things.
Are they things that you mouse over to make interactive, like that one that you just moused over?
This one over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, it shows the little...
Her name is Samantha. Every star on her body was hand-sewn by Rose's mother. That's Samantha, the unicorn. His name is Rose. Hello, Rose. In the deepest area of this box, there is a wooden train set.
I see.
Shoes.
Indeed.
You don't get... I wish I could pull off pink sneakers like that. Those look very comfy. A book Rose has enjoyed reading since he was young. It's a story about a rabbit with a simple message, trying to teach kids not to believe everything they are told. But the message Rose took from it was, rabbits are unpursuable. I did talk with Jason. Apparently this is actually based off of an actual book. If you know the one, you know it.
I don't.
Rose always finds things with a rose motif to be highly unpleasant. Too on the nose, as he says. However, his mother insisted that this lamp had to be in his room. She bought this before Rose even knew what a rose was. Imagine having a thing as your name. Would be like, okay, yeah, we all get it. You think you're clever. When Rose was young, he enjoyed books without pictures more than books with pictures. The first picture he drew as a child was of the abstract concept of prejudice. As a god, I cannot help but love him.
Interesting. So our narrator is a god?
Yes. Indeed. Rose's school hat. For his school, sophomores, green ribbons, juniors, blue ribbons, and seniors get purple ribbons. You know what? Who needs standard school tie uniform when you can have ribbon hat? I would wear a ribbon hat to school every day if I could do that. I have heard that for humans, it is rare for the weather outside of you to match the weather inside of you. If you happen to know if this is true or not, please send me a crystal ball message. It's this one. I like the zoom-ins that aren't anything written descriptions, just like, hey, we're gonna throw some more artwork at you because...
Is there right-click making of for the zoom-ins too?
I don't think there is for the zoom-ins. But We can see. There's something really endearing to me about how simple these drafts are, but how that's more than enough to bring everything to like this full, complete piece of art.
And also how the squiggly nature is part of it throughout the process.
Yeah, it's always squiggly.
I like that.
It kind of reminds me how I do my writing, where like the very first step, it doesn't even like read or write or like sound particularly good. It's just kind of like a various, I call it the word vomit phase. It's just a smattering of stuff in a vague shape, but that's more than enough to get the shape of it going, and then you mold and mold from there and create something beautiful.
Okay, but would you describe your writing as squiggly?
My first drafts, definitely. I wouldn't describe my finals as squiggly. I'm very unsquiggly. I'm sorry.
Much to think about.
Much too. Was that a numeral 2?
Yeah.
Rose has always been an early bird, but not today, not last Wednesday, and not the days in between. Hello, Rose. Do you see Rose's got some stuff in his hair?
Yeah.
And nice flower-shaped pupils. Let's see. Rose has painted many flowers in his life, but never once has he painted a rose. How gauche. His favorite comeback to those who keep asking him to paint roses. Again, I feel a bit on the nose. As someone who doesn't wear makeup, I can imagine it. You have favorites and not favorites. The usual color. Oh, there's more on this one. Where are they? Rabbit. Aw. Tiny Rose under a tree. Let's see. One of Rose's very first drawings. Something can be clicked. Not everything. Click when your cursor changed. Click here, click here, click here. I'm going to click in all of those. We've already clicked in all these places.
Have.
Oh, no. Rice, bell pepper, carrot, and tofu.
I could go for that.
I know, right? I'm thinking like, oh, that sounds so tasty. Rose's mother wakes up early every morning to make breakfast for Rose. Usually whatever she feels like making that day. Plant on the table. However, since last Wednesday, she has only been cooking Rose's favorites. Would you like to be Rose?
Sure. Hey, Mom.
This flower grows in the deep sea. Rose's mother just went there yesterday to meet a cousin. I was going to say it kind of looked like an anemone. But like the other kind of anemone. Not the... You know what I mean?
Today we learned that SK says an enemy.
Anemone?
An enemy.
Anemone.
An enemy.
I pronounced it correctly. What am I getting?
Roll the tape back.
Don't do it, SK. Don't do it. We all know in our hearts you had it right. Oh, good morning, Rose. Her name is Paciphia. She might look ridiculous, but if you right-click this frame, but she is a pretty good mother.
Does she if we right-click this frame?
That is pretty ridiculous. Not a single rose on Rose, though.
See,
Unless they're purple roses.
I bet there are purple ones. You know,
Come to think of it, yeah.
there was a time when I was young that I was really interested in all of the different varietals of roses. Because my grandmother used to garden. They had a big house in this area
Yeah.
with a garden. And they tried to get the whole family to help out in the garden in the summers when we were around here and get interested in that stuff. And I didn't like that very much because I had to do work and go outside and there were bugs. That's terrifying. Bugs are very scary usually.
Wait, I thought we learned last time on 8PR lore that Vivian likes roly-poly bugs.
Those ones are fine. Those are good.
Okay.
I think the problem is mostly bees and wasps, which I find existentially terrifying for reasons I can't quite describe.
That's fair. Bees are nice. Wasps I'm not a fan of.
But the thing I thought was cool was all of the differences in different types of rose specifically, and like how many different varieties that one flower could have. And like I read all of my grandmother's books about them and like had a favorite type and everything. And it's like, oh, so you want to do botany? No.
No,
oh,
I
you
just
want to
like
help
roses.
plant them?
No.
No, I
just
just want to look at one.
Holds up. I just think they're neat.
Years later, I went to a fancy rose garden in Boston, I think, as an adult, and that was a very cool experience.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with like the botanical gardens in Montreal near us.
I feel like there's specifically a rose garden somewhere around here.
Anyway, Vivian, big flower person, relatable.
I just think flowers are cool, but I'm also lazy, and I don't have a good green thumb, and bugs are outside.
I could help you with that. Got a green marker around here somewhere.
Oh yeah, that could work.
That's all.
Anyway, now that I'm done derailing this.
No, this is good details. Allows me to appreciate the nice artwork of the water being channeled out of the faucet here into magical waves. I wish I could do that. It'd be so much easier than washing the dishes by hand.
Developing hydrokinesis for labor-saving reasons.
Hey, it's as good a reason as any. Oh, look at the little jellyfish bubbles of water. That's cute. I have to stop myself from like pausing for like 5 minutes on every frame just to look at all the tiny little details.
Yeah.
I've played through this game, I want to say 12 times in editing before it was released, and I'm still finding new stuff. It's delightful. Pomegranate juice. Got a big palm on it. Big glass with strawberries on. I think it's so delightful. Rose likes pomegranate juice. This glass was a gift from a friend. Oh, I see. They're politely like bringing them down and placing them gently, and
yeah,
very kind.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh, that looks tasty. Wait. The original is the palm juice very big? Oh. Collecting rainwater? I remembered there was one there. I like all of the unnecessary close-up shots of all the flowers.
It's in the title.
It is.
You
It's
kind of
in the
have
title.
to.
Are you sure you don't want me to stop the rain for you? Oh, no. Oh, right. Reads in the other. Here you go. You sure you don't want me to stop the rain for you?
Oh, it's fine, Mom. I think it'll stop soon.
Making an umbrella out of the rain. That's very resourceful. See you, honey.
See you, Mom.
Oh, the houseboat. How do you get it? You just walk off the stairs. I heard the noise again, so there's some up here, right? Burb. Other burb. This one's longer. My enjoyment of a bird is directly proportional to how long it is.
You must like herons then, and flamingos. And...
Herons and flamingos are very, very good. They are very long.
But you don't like the little orbular ones, like Rowlet.
Scum of the earth.
Wow.
I mean, I yes-anded my way into this one. I guess this is where I ended up, huh? I take it back. Tiny little orbs are also very, very good. Art, music, story, coding, sound design by Chase Fox. I love the previous works by this author. My love for carrots and art galleries increased immensely after finishing them. With help from one of my aunts, I also went into the future and read some of their upcoming works. Don't tell them. Those are great too. This is just embarrassing now. Proofread by me. If you read SK's social media posts, you will find semicolons. As you can see, no one is more suited to do this task than SK.
Okay, but do your social media posts contain nested parenthetical phrases?
So, never the ones that fully make it out. I've broke myself of the habit of writing nested parentheticals in stuff that I actually show to people. If I catch myself doing that one, I'll be like, no, come on, SK, you gotta fix it.
How about M dashes?
Too many M dashes all of the time. Even when I can't use an M dash, I will liberally use the double hyphen as a substitute M dash.
How about distinguished M dashes and N dashes in the same post?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
They're used for different things.
Hell yeah.
Why would... Of course. Like, oh, are you telling me next time you're using two different vowels? Yes, of course. They're used for different things. Oh, the flying fish. Oh, the boathouse is back there. I didn't notice this as I was going through the first... Are those like sails, like dramatic sails billowing on top of the houseboat?
Possibly.
Ooh. Wonder what that is under there. I think Paciphia wanted to give Rose more than an umbrella, but she knew it was all she could do. The clock tower. Is that a phone booth? In this day and age? Rose's school always looks so unpleasant in the rain, but that's not why Rose is thinking about skipping class. I take it back, there were 2 flower pupils.
Oh, I see. Wait, did that last one have a clickable thing?
If I were as fragile as humans and experienced what he had last Wednesday. I would run too.
Interesting, the art style change. What does this look like in the other modes?
So this...
Now it's watercolor.
But yeah, so one of the things Chase was very excited about this was a lot of the game is done in actual physical watercolors.
That's neat.
Yeah, not just digital painting. Which is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider how much more effort and time it takes to get that right. Lollipop, cotton candy, gummy jellies, and chocolate. What voice do you get? Oh, hey, Rose. Wait, shouldn't you be at school? Her name is Fanny.
Yeah, about that. I kinda don't want to go to school today.
Oh, relatable. I also like how in the watercolor one, the bring-ups are look like they're actually separate
paper cutouts.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, some flowers as well. Even though he comes here a lot to sit and think, Rose never really liked this train. Mostly because of the rose motif in the decor that he can do nothing about. To be honest, having to be around roses would be kind of rough. Oh, hello, Rose. Oh, hold on. We got a lot of them here. Sour and sweet mixed berry sauce. Mint with the darkest of dark chocolate. Like being fire hosed by a stream of sugar. Oh, no. I added an extra SE in there. That's my fault.
Oh, no.
Pumpkin and milk. The worst chocolate ever, on top of the worst grape frosting ever. There's one more up here. Do not take a bite, no matter how tempting the prize.
Can't say that. Now I want to.
May I sit with you? Her name is Jane. Oh, wait, shouldn't you be at school? This is the train's signature dish.
Is it a stack of donuts?
It's a stack of donuts.
A stack of donuts in a physically improbable arrangement.
Yes. It sounds like, honestly, I would eat 5 of them.
Oh, I kind of don't want to go to school today.
Huh, relatable. Hi, what can I get you today?
One size S dragon fruit ice cream, please.
All right, one size S dragon fruit ice cream coming right up. You know, if I had school today, I would skip it too. It might not be obvious, but I have a lot on my plate right now.
Ba-dum.
I had to have Chase go and explain to me every single visual gag in this one, or like every implied joke in this, so I could make sure it was all working well. And I'm like, there are so many things that went over my head the first time No, a lot on my plate right now. Yeah, I'm a sucker for it. All right. Oh, Rose, there's a letter for you. Lollipop, cotton candy, gummy jellies, and chocolate. If you stand in this train station and close your eyes, you could believe without a problem that you were in a candy factory. All candy factory goodness. I don't know what it is, but Rose's expression right here is very good. Just the very polite, standing alongside, nice cat lady. Waiting in the station. They're kind of like paper dolls.
Yeah.
They're cut out like that.
Yeah.
Central City has been getting a little bit busier every day since last Wednesday. Well, I know I summoned you here, but I didn't think you'd get here this quickly. And shouldn't you be at school? Her name is Eleanor. The best oranges in Central City grow in Judge Eleanor's office. Everyone in Central City has heard this, but only a few know that the saying is completely literal. How was you supposed to keep scurvy away, huh?
Oh, I kind of don't want to go to school today.
Oh, relatable. Oh, that looks tasty. And also full of lactose. Here you go, one size S dragon fruit ice cream. Dragon fruit ice cream. I don't think we have that anywhere around here, but I want it now.
Yeah.
Dragon fruit. Made with actual dragons. That's a true fact.
Yeah, little known fact. 2 main ingredients, dragons and fruit. I'm imagining Laios Dungeon Meishi.
Yep.
with the concept of dragon fruit ice cream.
Oh no.
Where's the dragon?
Where's the dragon in this dragon fruit? Well then, I think I should explain myself. I summoned you here because of a letter that I received from the gardeners at the garden at the center of everything. They wrote to let me know that the garden is getting worse and worse at a concerning rate. Some of the flowers have turned into stone. Some have even spontaneously lit themselves on fire. This is one of them. Yes, the flowers at the garden at the center of everything are stronger than ordinary flowers. However, the corruption will soon start affecting things outside the garden as well. Rose, by next week you still can't decide on what to do. Then I will have to decide for you.
Still on fire.
Still on fire. I mean, why would it stop? It's still on fire. Her name is Elizabeth. One thing that I think didn't occur to me until after going through it once or twice is I'm pretty sure the animals are meant to be the ones from the storybook. Oh. Shelves full of boring books about the importance of books. Shelves full of boring books about the importance of books about the importance of books. A book about the best shade of purple. It seems to be part of a series. Do you know what a hex code for purple is?
I mean, do you want just anyone?
Anyone.
Like...
But be careful which one you go for, because it will canonically be the best purple from here on out.
Oh, the best purple. Okay, no, I don't know the best purple.
Oh.
But the HTML web color Rebecca Purple's pretty good.
Well, there you go. That is officially the best purple. You heard it here first.
I don't know its hex code, though. I was just going to give you, like, raw max out the R&B channels, and that wouldn't have made anyone happy.
Memories of taking exams throughout Rose's life. A strange story that Rose remembers. It's unclear if it's a false memory or not. It even has a big disclaimer on the cover that says so. It's about Rose's first time public speaking. I haven't read this one. I don't know if I'd be able to handle the secondhand embarrassment. You know what? That's fair. No one is good their first time public speaking. An incomplete biography of Paciphia. Makes sense. She's still going. Every word in this book is gibberish. It doesn't seem so, but I like to believe there's a way to decipher them somehow. That would be cool.
Got a copy of the Codex Seraphinianus in there.
Yeah, I've got that.
You do.
I do have a copy of the Codex Seraphinianus, which
we have to let's play at some point.
We do have to let's play the Codex Seraphinianus at some point. The thing is, it is actually like intelligible.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't think he bothered to ever share that with anyone. So. Oh, I forgot to ask, Rose. Shouldn't you be at school?
No, I kind of don't want to go to school today.
Oh, relatable. That is a lot on your plate. Here, Rose, you should start with this. What's this a book of?
Math? What does this have to do with anything?
Math is essential, Rose, to the world, to life.
What?
We need to make the best decision we can, and we need math for that.
Why?
Well, if you don't want to start with that, you can start with this one instead.
Me, a complete history of Rose? But I already know everything about myself.
Oh, Rose, don't be ridiculous. Nobody does. I'm gonna go find some more math books. I'll be right back. You know what? Stay put there. I'm gonna get. You think you need more math? Just in case. Everyone needs more math. That is the official stance here at 8PR. I actually am a firm believer that math is one of the most rewarding subjects to learn because, you know, I studied it for too long.
One of these days, God willing, I will understand what an eigenvalue is.
So the thing about eigenvalues is that Eigen really loves them.
I see.
That it's this guy named Eigen, and he's like, man, these values right here, these are my favorites.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is 3 1?
It can be.
Good. I understand completely.
What you thinking about? Got the Book of Rose in front of you, Rose. What you gonna do? If I were in his shoes, I wouldn't do what he's gonna do next. But then again, I can't help but love him for it. Who needs self-actualization when you can just have ice cream?
Check, please.
Back at the school gates. What if they say, I don't want to talk to you? One sentence from a single person could make the garden at the center of everything collapse today. Rose, there must be another way. It's too dangerous, Rose.
But I'm ready.
I hope one day I can understand why humans like to say this. My grandmother created this universe and everything in it. If you asked her, she would gladly tell you that being ready doesn't actually exist. Oh, Rose. I just don't want you to get hurt. All of us will always be with you. Always. Even when there's nothing left in the garden at the center of everything. Or even when there's nothing left at all. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Good luck.
That reminded me of a specific symphony, but I can't remember which one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was noticing that too, and I was like, that seems like a very familiar ditty. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it sounded very nice.
Is that Mozart? What is that? This is gonna bug me.
I'm sure it'll come to you exactly 3 hours from now.
It will not. I'm still trying to figure out what that one metal song was that I was bugging you about at a completely inopportune moment like 2 days ago.
Oh, good. Color guide. That turned out pretty close.
Yeah.
Except for the one spot right there. I kind of like the one spot that it reminds me a lot of that, what was it? That panel from the Akira manga where every single line being drawn in and anyway. Rose has always been an early bird. I've heard that for humans it is rare for the weather outside of you to match the weather inside of you. So, today is very special then, isn't it? Hey, Rose. Aw, smiley Rose. The makeup again. An unusual color. A different color today.
Did I call it? Is it a time loop?
Not quite a time loop, no. Something that Rose doesn't really like.
Morning, Mom.
This flower grows in the deep sea. Rose's mother just went there recently to meet a cousin. Oh, hey, Rose. Does she still look silly? She looks even sillier!
Mom, do you want to hang out today? Like, right now after breakfast?
Oh, I'd love to, but aren't you like, what about, oh, right, what about school?
I don't want to go to school today.
Oh, hey, Relatable. I like this one a lot. It's a lot of, I was talking with Chase when working on this, and unlike a lot of their other stuff, this one was a lot more personal and a lot more open. They intentionally made it a lot more open to interpretation as to what exactly is going on with Rose, but I do like that it ends on a nice note.
Yeah.
And also, look, we get to see all the watercolors now.
Oh, neat. So those are all like, are those like 5x7 size or something? Or
looks like them. Oh, and like the paper.
Oh, little character cutouts.
Yeah, little paper dolls. And these were all the. Oh, so they were all originally like done like a almost like a comic.
Yeah.
To do. Oh, that's so cool. And you. Thanks, you. Thanks for playing. Aww.
I really like the hybrid physical digital format that some of this is going for. And
yeah.
Like, that's an underused aesthetic, IMO.
Yeah, that was when I was spoilers. There's an interview with Chase that's going to happen here in just a moment or two, and that's one of the things we talked about was the real desire to emphasize kind of both aspects of their work rather than being just constrained to one particular side of their expression. So,
and as a technology person, I just feel like we don't explore the fullness of the medium of hypermedia and of games as often as we should. It's like you get stuck in a rut about what these things ought to be. And it's like, no. You've got the technology and the power and the creativity to make it whatever the heck you want. You can imagine new forms for it.
Oh, anyway, that's where we're gonna stop here. There's a couple of other things at the very end, the note from the author, and I believe a preview for Chase's next game as well, but if you haven't yet, go check out their stuff on itch and on Steam because they're all very beautiful, wonderful games to look at, and some of them I have helped on. So it's just do it. They're beautiful. They add so much to your day. It's very, what's the word? Something I can feel like I can see myself in, something that I see what's going on and I'm like, that might apply to me too. There's a word for it. It'll come to me in a little bit. We'll think about it later. Bye. Hey there, folks. My name's SK, and I'm here talking again with my friend and collaborator, Chase Fox. We're here to talk about their newest release, a beautiful game called Floralgraphic Memory. And if I did my math correctly, that should be out on today, the day that this interview airs. Before we go any further, though, a quick disclaimer at the top. I did contribute some editing to this game and a small amount of writing to the title. And because we discussed this during our negotiations, this is technically our channel's second piece of sponsored content. That said, I wouldn't be here giving this interview if I didn't think it was worth y'all's time, so I hope you'll give it a look nonetheless. And Chase, for our first-time listeners, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Chase. I kind of make video games, and all my games I play on this channel.
Yeah, we played all of them so far. Because that's actually how we got introduced to one another as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to retread too much of the stuff we talked about last time. If folks are interested, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Instead, I'd like to talk more about your new game today, Floralgraphic Memory. Let's start with the most bold of your stylistic choices in this game. This is, as far as I recall, this is like your first title to incorporate physical media
Oh.
into a large part of the narration, into a large part of the narrative, right?
Yeah.
In that case, your lovely watercolor painting. What was the motivation for that decision? Because that does seem like a lot of extra work.
The watercolor painting. One day, I was cleaning my room and I found this old watercolor palette.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I might do something about it. I might like play with it a bit. And I started drawing something small at first. And I find so much joy in it. I don't know. I've been doing digital art for 10 years. And like I went to school for, art school.
Yeah.
That kind of like all about digital art and animation. So I was like, I have never done this for a while now. So when I start doing watercolor art, I find so much delight. I find it to be delightful. And one of the challenging thing in making photographic memory is that I I don't want it to be too sad because like if you play the game,
Mm-hmm.
you might know that it's kind of it the core of the story is someone being depressed basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I don't want to tell a sad story, but it is what it is. That is the story I'm trying to tell.
Yeah, it's a story that's sad, but it's not one that feels artificial. I remember last time we talked, you mentioned not wanting to have like moments that like emotional moments that felt forced or what was the phrase you used? Fabricated hardship, right?
Yeah, fabricated hardship.
Yeah, that like not wanting to avoid that.
So photographic memory is a sad story, and I thought, okay, we have to do something. And by we I mean me. I have to do something to like light things up.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, I think I'm gonna have this running joke where when Rose goes into his like mindscape,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be all watercolor because he's in his stream of consciousness. So it's water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, this is gonna be like this very subtle running joke. So I thought, watercolor is like suitable here. I'm gonna do this to light things up a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it works.
I mean, it certainly gives those scenes a lot more levity.
And
one other thing to notice is that one of the hallmarks of your style is this very kind of explosive expression of color. And when you're working in a digital medium, it's very easy to just kind of like drop colors down by fiat. But when you're working with actual watercolors, the way that they blend, the colors and paints blend together on paper and the way they interact with the water gives it a naturally kind of more muted palette, more muted color tone than the other stuff that you've done. The difference is striking. And it clearly takes a lot more work, or at least I would imagine it takes more work to finalize a painting on watercolor than it is digitally. Is that true?
Yes, definitely. Because like, you can separate it into layers, you can undo, and you have limited palette. You don't have like millions of color like you do in painting software.
Yeah.
And if your paintbrush broke, you need to go buy a new one.
Yeah, there's that extra cost of using physical media for it.
And you need to keep changing water. And also you need to wait for it to dry before applying more color.
In some ways, it sounds like all of those extra steps mean that it's the kind of thing that it must have been a decision that you made out of, like, for lack of, but like for a love for the project. I mean, like, I don't think someone would go to all those extra steps if they didn't care deeply for the story or presentation they were telling.
Yeah. And, everyone experienced this game like from their screen. It's almost fruitless in a way. If you think about it, like, why would you go through this thing? And I don't know about you, but I feel many people are going to say, well, your digital art is so much better. They look better. There are many more colors, and it's more saturated and it's more precise.
And like I can understand that kind of. I can understand why someone might say that, but
Yeah.
at least for me, when I was looking through all that, it seemed, at least for me, I got the message that it was like a labor of love from you. Because as from our last time we talked, we know that you like to work in a lot of different media, not just digital painting. You were talking about last time about feeling kind of corralled into only working on digital painting for most of your degree. And in terms of like what appeals to audiences online,
Yeah.
in some ways, like you intentionally putting watercolor media in this game, and not just the watercolor media, but showing the in-process shots for every single frame seems like a very deliberate decision to be like, no, look at the love and artistry and craft put into this. Look at how much is done here. That's what I took away from it. Why did you decide to add in those process shots?
So actually, every one of my game has those draft where it has no color; it's just draft. And from my first game, I just threw it away. And it's just like, this is 5 game in. I realized why do I need to throw it away? I should have just make player access it through like one simple click.
Yeah.
And that is kind of all of it. Yeah. And also I just love the idea that when someone see this through their screen and they got inspired, they can just right click to see how it was done and maybe do it themselves.
Aw.
Yeah, that would be so nice.
So kind of like giving the push to be like, oh, look, this is how I did it. You can do this. It's very illuminating seeing what details you focus on in those initial drafts, and then like how those, because when I was going through it, I did check out all of the process shots, and it was very telling seeing what details were present in the original draft and how those changed to the final version that was then in the game.
Yeah, it's all my intentions. I want that to happen. What you just did. It's kind of nice to know that someone did appreciate it.
Of course.
Because like if you think about it, in this game, I give a lot of things people don't want to hear, don't want to like experience. Like if you think about like the core story, it's like this sad story, and I don't know if someone is like gonna be intentionally like gravitated towards sad story. And with the watercolor thing, it's like, yeah, it's like a joke, but I'm so committed to it to a point where it's like kind of, yeah, like unnecessary. Like, why would you do that? It's you could have just draw digitally and like add some filter or something. You don't need to go do things on physical media and like take photo. Yeah.
But doing so definitely felt like it gave it that extra gravitas.
So I can't help but feel like not many people gonna like this game. But somehow I'm pretty content with it.
Yeah.
I sell it, but I guess I'm at a point in my life and in my artistic journey where I kind of slowly lost this ability to like care about how people gonna think of me. I start to like just care about like selective group of people instead of like everyone.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, like when you grew up, you know that well, everyone is not super nice, but someone clearly does. So you want to appreciate that instead of everyone.
Yeah, more so than I think your previous titles. This definitely feels like a game that was made that wasn't made with wide audience appeal in mind. I think it's something that everyone can find enjoyable and I think that everyone can find meaning in, but it's certainly not going out of its way to be palatable. In fact, like last time we talked, you talked about how Carrot wound up being the first game you created because of, in some ways, the wider appeal of its setting and style.
Oh yeah, I told you that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember things on occasion.
I don't know, like, as I grow old, I feel like I tend to value invention and discovery more than high technique.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think it's such a cliche thing because artists who are older than me say this to me when I was in art school. This is also another cliche thing. It's like I did not get it back then when I was in art school. Yeah.
But you're starting to feel it now.
Yeah. I thought effort is only more color, more lines, more time with the piece. I thought back then, many years ago, I thought that that's all it is. But yeah, no, there's something else. Oh, may I go on a weird tangent?
Please, by all means.
So, I'm super interested right now in like those old video games where the graphic is, what is it? There's this thing people like to use, like it's look PS2 graphic, to like as an insult, and I'm kind of start to like become interested in games that has like graphic where it's like you can't use realistic or cartoonish. It's just bad. Like the old Nintendo games where they just started doing 2D and yeah, you can see that this is Mario. This is but well, it doesn't look so compelling.
Yeah, because those first generation of 3D titles, right, where they're still kind of figuring stuff out, there's definitely a very compelling kind of vision to those very low poly, kind of stripped down versions of these character models that we almost kind of take it for granted nowadays that all the 3D model work in games are going to be highly streamlined or stylized or realistic. But we've almost forgotten like what that era was like when Mario was just a few triangles with a hat on.
Yeah, and we know it's Mario. That skills, right? Do you agree? Like,
Yeah.
It's that's so like they are dealing with like this enormous amount of limitation, but they find a way to do it. But compared to nowadays, you must have played, because if you are like professional gamer, you must have played some game that all it has for it is graphic.
Yeah.
In terms of behavior, in terms of gameplay, in terms of like just organic fun, it doesn't exist in those games. Yeah, and it's so sad that we come to this place if you think about it. Because okay, graphic kind of, I don't know, when, but it had certainly become the core thing about video games.
Yeah.
It's how like, because like it looked pretty, and I understand from like consumer point of view that, well, it looked pretty, it must feel pretty, but no, not often. No, it's not certain.
Yeah. The disconnect between the beauty of the art style and the beauty of the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
And kind of how, in many ways, like when people talk about the specs of their computer, graphical processing power is often the benchmark reached for, where running a game at a higher frame rate, with a larger draw distance, isn't going to change the actual game being played, right?
Yeah.
At a certain point, the focus on the graphics kind of misses the point of making a game that's fun and enjoyable to play.
Yeah, because like it's two separate things. It's like experience and graphic. It's like uh yeah, and I was like these days I'm so interested. I'm so like captivated even by those old games.
Mm.
I feel like you know I feel like I see so much value in those intention, like in the old Animal Crossing game, where you know you play New Horizon. Like yeah, it certainly looked beautiful,
Mm.
but of course you would know that uh like the older title, they might not be beautiful, but like it's still fun and you can still play it. It's not like
Yeah.
this is the best game by any means. So the older version, if you go back to like the GameCube version, the first
Mm.
version, you can see that yeah, the villager, they are like cats and dogs and and bears, and in those old games, they are still cat and dogs and bear. It's still the same. It's 20 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, they could do it with those limitations. You know, and I understand if many gonna see it as upgrade, but I kind of don't. I don't know. It's like personal preference. I don't see it as an upgrade that the graphic is better. I Maybe it's because like I have art degree and I have been doing art for like long time in my life. I just I'm I was not impressed by you know
Yeah.
uh in quotation good graphic. I I'm not at all anymore. I'm not anymore.
Yeah, because on one hand, like graphics are definitely part of the whole package,
Mm,
but graphics alone do not a good game make.
yeah. So because of that, I guess I just love limitation now
Yeah,
as like an artist, as a person.
finding beauty and working under those constraints.
Yes, yes, and like the constraint of making traditional painting in on physical media.
Mm.
I just feel it's kind of beautiful and I don't know. I feel I get to invent something. I'm not sure there's many game that do like okay digital art and then there's some part that is just watercolor and then it's just shift just like that.
Yeah, because even games that use a largely like painted aesthetic will do so digitally.
Mm.
I can think of very precious few titles that would use actual physical like media in their final product.
Yeah, it's become this like cool marketing term thing like hand painted, but like yeah, I mean like usually it's not it's not hollow, but it's not hand painted most of the time because
Mm.
only some actually hand painted because like some would use it as like this cool thing to market the game because like yeah it's hand painted, not that digitally hand painted is not hand painting, but they would use like mesh animation.
Right. It's a yeah.
Yeah, they would like do 3D, but the texture is hand painted and it's like okay, I understand that it's hand painted, but it's almost misleading. Like you could have said 3D because like everyone who do 3D is hand painting the texture also.
Yeah,
But
it's like
you know,
it's not to downplay the legitimate work that goes into it,
mm,
but to say that it's like to call it hand painted would seem to give it a different presence than what it actually is,
yeah. Well,
or the end result. Because the end result is not just the hand painting; it's putting a texture onto a 3D model or a mesh and animating that.
because like with game with like let's say character portrait, those are handmade, then but nobody like market it as hand painted.
Mm.
But these days it seems to be used as like this marketing term to yeah
Yeah, I understand you.
and I guess I'm gonna keep doing this after this game. um so of my next project, Truth Universally Acknowledged.
Oh, yes. I didn't know we were going to bring it up, but I do know about your upcoming project. Yes.
Oh, I can't do it.
No, you can.
Should I?
You can if you would like to.
Okay.
I was going to take my cues from you on that front.
Okay. So yeah. So in my next game, it's gonna be all watercolor.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it. I'm not gonna.
Wow.
I mean the art asset. Yeah, I'm not gonna do digital art for this next project.
That is an incredible ambition.
Mm.
And knowing what you have in store for this next project, I can't wait to see what that looks like.
Oh, well,
That'll be a wonderful thing to see. Although before we get too carried away on that, I do have a couple more questions for you about Floralgraphic Memory. The game that you can get today on Steam and Itch, links in the description. Like, you see that? You see that? That's how we do. That's how we pitch it professionally. One other new thing that you've done in Floralgraphic Memory that wasn't really present in your other games is that there is now an established narrator.
Oh,
that is kind of separate from the action. What made you choose to invoke a true narrator character rather than it just kind of omniscient, dissociated voice like is normal in prose?
First, my programming skill increased, so now I can do this type of thing where you can click on the screen now. it take a long time, but I manage eventually.
Yeah, the game itself now feels like a melding of those digital storybook style from your previous game and
invention.
Yeah, and like the point
it.
and click stuff that you did in Pancakes and Waffles. It's got kind of like a little bit of both.
The reason it's Jadarat and it's not like just omniscient person narrating this whole thing is because it's foreshadowing.
Gasp. So just for foreshadowing's sake?
Yeah, just for foreshadowing.
Well, all right then.
No, not entirely. Yeah, it's foreshadowing, but another part is I feel I like to have a very distinct voice to narrate my own story. I don't know how I came to decide it. I came to decide this, but I just feel like I want a very distinct voice. I want a character, and I want to use this character in other games too. When narration is needed, she will be there. Like from this point on in my games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if it omniscient, I don't know. I just feel like I can add value to narration, so I added it. Yeah, I guess that's why I did it that way.
Fair enough. That's a good reason to do so. I did want to talk about one specific thing that you mentioned last time. Because last time we did an interview, we talked about the tension between like the reader, the player's desire for something tangible and your desire for them to engage their imagination with your work, right?
Oh no.
You remember this? Like that?
I mean, yeah, I remember. I remember I was re-listening to like the previous episode, and I thought that was such a narcissistic thing to say. It's all about me. I was so I felt so bad about it.
Oh,
but
really?
I guess people can understand what I'm trying to say.
I didn't take it in a narcissistic way. I took it in a way that like
some gonna take it that way. I feel. Because I'm selling product and consumerism.
True.
It should be all about consumer.
True.
I don't know. I'm still indie, so it's not affecting me so much. Consumerism part of the whole thing. But yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, sorry. I just I can see someone being angry, and I just don't want that to happen.
No, I understand that.
I can't help it.
That's not how I took it at all, but I could see how someone might understand it that way.
Yeah.
Because the way you explained it to me about wanting people to get as invested in your stories and start to like imagine along with them
so
as you do.
if we go back to like the low fidelity graphic thing, can you see yourself like be more connected with like the old graphic, because it requires so much? No, it requires a lot more of you to understand that this is a bear, this is a grape,
Yeah.
this is an apple, you know. When it's like, it can look not like apple at all, it can just be a red ball, but with specific context. If you eat it and your health spark goes up, it's an apple. If you put it on the tree, it's an apple.
Mm-hmm.
But if it just exits in a void, it's just a sphere, a low poly sphere that is red. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know. This is like pretentious artist thing, but like I find that beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you about like how that kind of tension, how you addressed that tension in writing Floralgraphic Memory.
I make it all about me.
Fair enough.
See, like it's like in Floralgraphic Memory, there is much more than Carrot and the Great Artist in terms of like this my subtlety and my me employing like implication and allusion and metaphors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's like it asks you to think through writing. See, I'm making my writing low poly, if you think about it.
Yeah. You're using a lower, almost a lower resolution text almost, and yet there's also more. At least from my perspective, I felt like there was almost more moment to moment dialogue and movement to kind of keep the reader gripped to it as well. Like the overall narrative and what they're meant to take from it certainly felt like it required a lot more investment in time, but it also felt like there was much more deliberate through line and at least what was going on at the surface level to kind of keep the reader grasped to it.
Yeah. So in this story, there's this thing where the story is called Floralgraphic Memory, and I do that because it's a play on flower language thing. Yeah. And because of that, like flower language, it's cryptic communication. So you don't say, you give flower. This is what it is. So I want this game to also not say a lot too. Yeah, it's like an intention from like the writing perspective.
So like the game itself is the flower, the game itself is the message, and you have to find the message within that flower.
Yeah, there is a message, but I intentionally encrypt it to make it confusing. Yeah.
It's kind of beautiful in a way.
Kind of beautiful, but it sounds like a loss of sale. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking about that tension as well between like what will people, because at the end of the day, right, it's still there is a business concern to it. Like, will stuff like that sell to an audience, especially an audience who has followed you for your previous couple games? I personally think there's still a lot to find and enjoy there.
Don't worry. It's not going to be... I'm not going to do this all the time. This is going to be like a one-time thing.
You got to do some ones for yourself now and then.
Yeah. Because like, my next game, I dare say it's the most traditional game I'm gonna make.
It is somehow both the most traditional and least traditional game you've decided on so far.
Yeah. Oh no. When I spoke to you last, I told you, I'm gonna keep doing visual novel, and then I just changed my mind again.
Change your mind immediately.
Yeah, even in this game, it's not super a visual novel because like there's something to click and you can,
Right.
it's
It's got a little bit of the point and click, the Nancy Drew adventure game stuff to it, and a little bit of the visual novel storybook kind of feel to it.
yeah. Yeah, and the next game is even more than this.
Well, folks will just have to stay tuned if they want to see what's coming from you next, because as someone with a little bit of foreknowledge, I can tell you it is going to be quite a fun little project.
Mm.
And by little, I mean absolutely the opposite of that. Well, that was all the questions I had prepared for you.
Oh, really?
Would you like to tell the fine folks would you like to remind the fine folks at home where they can find you?
So you can find me on the internet. Oh, it would be funny if I just leave it as that. Like I would just don't get specific.
You could do that if you want. I will still add specific links to your stuff in the description.
Oh, okay.
You can leave it so you're like all cryptic in here, and then I'm just like subtly nodding at the.
So I have Twitter account, I have Tumblr account, and I have a YouTube channel, which all of those I don't update much. I'm very bad at social media in general. I don't know what to share, and most of the time I just see it's like as this like fruitless endeavor.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Sometimes feels like social media is its own job, right?
And I don't think it's social media right now. I think it's like marketplace. Because like how it's structured to engage you is like, if your post don't get enough like, not many people are gonna see it. It's the way it is. I don't think it's a way to connect anymore. Like right now in 2024.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I remember when I was young, it was. You could go to like web board. You can go to like some like obscure blog, and the profile is just profile. You accidentally bump into it, and you're like, this person seems interesting. But now it's like, it's not like that anymore. Especially Twitter, where there's a lot of people with, I don't know, who seem to belong to like the cult of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And like kind of like
Twitter in particular.
Post this thing. It's very strange. What do they get from it? They get nothing from it. What are they doing? I mean, I feel like they get money because Elon Musk gave them money, right? If you have blue check. But it's like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they are in for the money. I can see why they do that.
It feels less like you could connect with people.
Yeah.
Especially on Twitter, where it's kind of flooded with his fanboys.
Because like it's completely contradict the legacy intention of the site.
Oh, absolutely. I can't. I'm never on Twitter anymore. I just can't be there. It's just.
I just don't know why I should be not online in general, but like on the site.
Yeah.
The only site I think it's still hold true to its like original intention is YouTube, but I'm not so great at it, So
yeah,
I
can understand that.
Yeah,
YouTube is
making videos.
YouTube's a very difficult platform as well to kind of get discovered on.
I mean, it's good as trying to announce your thought, but it's not good at connection because like it is always one way connection.
Right.
Unless you know something through YouTube and then go connect with them personally afterward. Okay, like
exactly
we did.
Yeah. Like it can be difficult, but it can be done.
But it can be done. And YouTube, I know the search function is kind of like unusable now.
Oh god, yeah.
Maybe because they are part of Google and like search engine, the Google is unusable now too.
I wonder if kids these days appreciate just how unusable Google search is.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those days where you could go to like the second
like,
or third page of results and still get something important out of it?
Yeah, but now they just I feel like, I mean, yeah, you get why they do that, because they need to have like specific space to, put advertising
Yep.
in. But it's just what it is. But yeah,
Making me sound like a boomer
back
up
in the day
here.
you could search one thing and read about it for a very long
Yeah.
time. I remember, yeah, you want to know about pirate, there could be like 10, 20 pages, and it would link you to many interesting sites.
And now the first result
Yeah.
is an AI generated listicle that says top 10 things that you
Oh,
need to know
God.
about pirates.
And I don't think anyone genuinely enjoyed those. So I don't know what are they doing. I I feel like, I don't know. It's
It's a
kind of
wider gulf
weird.
between the internet as used for connecting with people and the internet as used for as a device of capitalism, as a device to sell things, as a way to advertise.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that is a whole different podcast if we want to talk about that sometime.
Yeah, it's sad, but yeah. So now I'm kind of like always on like those obscure blogs by random people, you know. Um and I don't even know who they are sometimes, and they just like come in on the internet and like type something about themselves and then disappear for months and then come back again and do this, and I don't even know who they are, but I love these things more than being on a big site like Twitter, Tumblr.
Yeah, the lost art of the personal blog.
I think we should stop talking about this because like it's gonna make us look old.
I know. I'm getting a lot. The more I hear myself talk, the more I'm like, people call you a boomer for a reason. I'm like,
Oh.
I'm not though. I swear. Anyway, your games, however, are available on places that aren't random blogs on the internet. Those are available on both itch and Steam.
Yeah, I appreciate you tying it together so that it doesn't seem like I was, wasting people time. There's a point to it.
Exactly. Bringing it around to the end. Oh, thank you so much for your time, Chase.
Yeah.
Again, please go check out Floralgraphic Memory and all the rest of Chase's games. Links will be in the description and probably in the pinned comment too.
Yeah.
They are, again, I do have a horse in this race, but I wouldn't work on these and I wouldn't feel comfortable telling you, promoting them to you if I didn't also enjoy them. So please go check them out. And please go purchase them and enjoy them. They will absolutely be worth your time.
It is worth your time. I don't know, like I'm the one who made this, so if I say this, it's gonna always sound awkward. But I mean, yeah, I hope you find enjoyment in it. Like it's a little story I wrote, and you know, just feel like somebody might want to read this story. If you play it, but if you haven't played it, yeah, I I hope it makes someone feel happy, you know. And that's why I keep doing this art thing, even though it doesn't bring me much money. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening, and thank you for buying my game if you have bought my game.
And if you didn't, you can do it right now. Don't worry. We encourage it.
Yes.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.
Oh, relatable.
Don't spoil the joke at the last minute.